Hello and welcome to tonight's Saturday Night Live. Tonight I'm going to go through 3 key nutrients that I think every triathlete needs. So I'm really interested to see if anyone joins me on a Saturday night. I know that the AFL Grand Final is on. It's River Fire here in Brisbane, and the first person online is South Bank Tri Club. Hi. Hi, Lisa. It's also a big race, like it's the first short course race of the season in Queensland or Brisbane here actually tomorrow at Moreton Bay. So potentially people are lying in bed getting ready to have an early night ready to race tomorrow. So I'm excited to see who joins me. So I'm going live every night this week to celebrate the launch of the Triathlon Nutrition Academy. Doors are open at the moment. Just lost my Facebook Insta feed. Sorry, guys. I just did it again. Struggling here. Struggling. So I'm going live every night this week. I've been going live since last Sunday night to celebrate the launch of the Triathlon Nutrition Academy, and it's been so much fun. I really just wanted to provide so much value and free nutrition gold to you this week as I open doors to what I think is the first ever triathlon nutrition program in the world. I can't find anything anywhere. So you get access to me as a sports dietitian, and we're really just going to level up your nutrition knowledge and skills so that you can become a supercharged triathlete. So tonight I wanted to run you through another sort of key component to triathlon nutrition, and I want to give you insight into 3 key nutrients that I think every triathlete needs. So I know there's a few people online now. Have you got any guesses as to what I might be covering tonight? Pop it in the chat box on Facebook, on Instagram. I've got you both next to each other. So if you've got any insight into what you think they might be, pop it in now and let me know what you think. Hey, Lauren. Hey, Fitness Tales. Hey, Romeo and Frataroo and Carmel Ryan. How are you? All right. So any guesses? Any guesses as to what the 3 nutrients might be? The floor is yours. Anyone? Nothing? No one's got anything for me? Come on, somebody, surely. Take a guess. Wild punt. Crunchy. Yeah, good work, Carmel. Iron is definitely one of the things we're going to talk about tonight. Iron, I think, is a very important nutrient for any athlete, particularly the endurance kind, and we'll talk a little bit about why. Any other guesses from anyone else that's online? Or it might just be you and I talking to each other, Carmel. Nothing? No one's got anything? No one wants to play with me tonight? I do get it that it's Saturday night. It's fine. All right, so the 3 important nutrients that I want to talk to you about tonight. The first and foremost most important one is carbohydrate. Now, it is a macronutrient, and it is something that's really, really important for triathletes. The second one is calcium, and the third one is iron. And I think all those 3 things are really key nutrients that every endurance athlete needs to be across, particularly triathletes. So we're going to delve into each of them a little bit tonight. Now, I need you to get comfortable eating carbohydrate as a triathlete. They definitely get a bad rap. And for people that want to lose weight, the first thing that they do is try and cut carbs. And you'll notice that if you try and do this while doing triathlon training, you are literally going to fall into a mess at the end of the week if you try and do this too aggressively. I had a client that tried to cut carbohydrates so hard he ended up in hospital. So we don't want to limit them to the point where we just don't have any fuel in the fuel tank anymore. So getting comfortable having carbohydrate. Now, how much carbohydrate you need is really individual. And the message is not just go and eat more carbs because we really need to eat carbohydrates strategically. And I don't think you should be eating the same thing every day as a triathlete. I talk about this all the time. You should be really periodizing your intake across the week so that each training day you eat differently to support the training load. And that's going to help you get better bang for your buck out of training. Now, in the Triathlon Nutrition Academy, I'm going to teach you exactly how much carbohydrate you need for certain days. So we're going to walk through what you need on a lighter or a rest day. We're going to walk through what you need on a heavy double session day, and also what you might need for a long training session day as well. So it's really important that you get a handle on your overall fueling needs for the day, and not be afraid of carbs, but understand how to scale them up and down depending on what type of sessions you're doing and the performance you're trying to get out of those sessions as well. Hey, Leslie. All right. So that would be one of the key ingredients for being a successful triathlete, is understanding how much carbohydrate you need, what days to have more, what days to have less of. And I'm going to teach you that within the academy, exactly how to build your plate real estate for your training load. Now, the second key nutrient that is super important for triathletes is calcium. Now, calcium is really important for strong teeth and strong bones. Most people kind of know that, but it's also involved in every single muscle contraction. So you need calcium to contract your muscles to exercise. You also need it to contract your heart, which we need to exercise as well. So we don't want to be low in calcium, because calcium's got a very delicate little balance. It needs to be within a certain range within our bloodstream. Otherwise, our heart starts doing weird things. And so for it to stay within that nice tight little range, we will borrow from our bones. So we'll pull some from our bones, and to put more away, we remodel our bones as well. So we're constantly sort of shifting and pulling from our bones to keep that nice homeostatic level of calcium there. Now, the detriment of not having enough calcium in your diet means that you're constantly pulling from your bones to maintain that level, and that's not what we want. We want to have nice, strong bones, and so you need to make sure that you have enough calcium in your diet. Fitness Tales said, just learned something new. You are welcome. And that is the whole point of these. So I understand that there's probably not a lot of people that's going to jump on Saturday night, which is totally fine, but there will be a bunch of people that watch the replay. So if you've got any questions as we're going, just type them in. And if you're watching the replay and you've got a question, just pop it in the comments for me or send me a DM and I can answer it later. Now, so your requirements for calcium are, depending on who you are, they range, but they're probably about 1,000 milligrams per day. They could be a little bit higher if you're older, so sort of 50 plus for females and 70 plus for males. And they could also be a little bit higher than that if you're younger, when you're still sort of laying down your bone tissue and you're still growing. So to get that amount of calcium in a day is not that difficult. You just need to know how. So we're going to go through within the Triathlon Nutrition Academy exactly how to do that every single day, so that you're ticking off this box and making sure that you are building really strong bones if you haven't hit your peak bone mass yet, which you do in your early 20s. And if you have hit that peak and you're on the maintenance downhill trajectory as we get older, I'm sorry, it sucks getting older, but your bones need to maintain that peak strength for as long as possible. We don't want to be borrowing calcium from our bones, because that just makes them more holey or porous. That makes them not as strong, and then you're more likely to break them and things like that. So we don't want to be doing that. We need to make sure we are getting enough calcium every single day. And particularly if you're a female, and particularly if your menstrual cycle is not particularly regular, that's another key component. So we really want to make sure we're doing a good job of that. And if you join us in the academy, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. You don't have to worry about trying to Google it or figure it out yourself. I'm just going to give you the framework and plan to follow it, which is super easy. Hi, Yamini. How are you? All right, now the third important nutrient before my voice fails me is iron, which you got, Carmel. Thank you. Hey, Carly. So iron is obviously super important as an active person, and it does many things, but one of the main things it does is carry oxygen around our body, which we need, right? It's really important for aerobic exercise, that more sort of slower pace, where you can breathe and have a conversation with a friend while you're running, or like a nice social coffee ride. That's a sort of an aerobic session where you've got the ability to breathe, and we need iron to do that, to carry that oxygen around our body. So we need a certain amount per day, and it does change depending on if you're male or female, menstruating, pregnant, those sorts of things. So how much you need varies. Excuse me. Sorry if you've got to listen to that. There's two types of iron, though, that I think are really important for you to understand, because not all iron is the same. Hey, Alana. So we've got heme iron and non-heme iron. Now, our heme iron is our animal sources of iron, and they are more bioavailable. So we absorb them a little bit better. And then we've got our non-heme sources of iron, and they're our plant-based sources, and we don't absorb that anywhere near as well. There's things in plants that stop them from being digested, and so we can't kind of digest them properly and extract the iron out of those foods. So we do need more of those non-heme plant-based sources of iron if we're relying solely on that, if you're a vegan. And if you're a vegetarian, then it just depends on what sort of animal sources you're including to know where you're going to get your iron from. So if you are vegetarian, hey, Alex, and Sanctus Sportive, hey, if you are vegetarian or vegan, it's totally possible to get enough iron from your diet, but you do need to be really diligent, and you do need to know the best sources and also the things that are going to inhibit iron absorption and enhance iron absorption. So it's like this big melting pot of stuff that can influence the digestion and absorption. So it is totally possible to get there if you're following a vegan diet or vegetarian, but you just need a bit of knowledge around how to do that and making sure you're doing a good job of that all the time. A lot of vegan athletes end up getting really low iron, and that's just because they don't know how to actually follow a vegan diet properly. You just need a bit of education to understand how to do that, so you're getting enough iron, you're getting enough protein, etc., etc. So those would be the three important nutrients that you need to focus on if you're a triathlete. There's obviously plenty more, but I think those are really key ones. So if you've just joined us, they are carbohydrate, and not being afraid of these, but also then knowing how to scale your intake up and down depending on what's going on with your training load. Calcium, which is important for strong bones, but also muscle contraction. And we definitely want to be doing a good job of that, but also making sure we aren't borrowing from our bones to keep our blood levels of calcium stable. And then the third one is iron, which we need for lots of things, but in particular for endurance sport is carrying oxygen around the body, which is really, really important. So if you've got any questions, pop them in the box and I can answer them for you before I jump off and, go and finish my tea and probably not do much else, go to bed. What was I going to say on iron? There was one more thing that I thought of just then. Can't remember. Oh, if you have low iron, some things like that you may not be aware of that are your symptoms, signs and symptoms of low iron. Alana said low iron, my nemesis. Yes. Yep. Well, you're a 160K runner, Alana. So you do a lot of pounding the pavement and you have very high iron losses. So that is why. So signs and symptoms if your iron is low was the other thing that I thought of just then, was just something to be mindful of if you are feeling really tired and fatigued and like flat and run down for like obviously you're going to feel tired with triathlon training, but if you're just feeling wiped constantly, like one, it could be a nutritional thing that needs to be fixed, but two, it could also be low iron. So you want to just go and get a screen with your GP and ask them to do iron studies and have a look at what your iron levels are doing. Alex said, always damn kids. Yeah, you're never going to have a good night's sleep again, I think, Alex. You're always going to feel tired. But it may just be kid tiredness rather than low iron stores. Hey, Fabian. So something to be mindful of if you are feeling those symptoms of low iron, just to go and get a check. Like I often get my athletes just to get an annual screen and just keep an eye on what's going on. See if there's a trend for it going up or going down, your iron stores, particularly heading into big events. So Alana, who's online, has just run 160 Ks in the Brisbane Trail Ultra. And, low iron is something that she struggles with a little bit. So we just kept a really close eye on it heading into that event. And we're also keeping a close eye on it coming out of that event, because you can be really diligent with stuff as you head into an A race or a key race or something. And then you just, whatever after that. So it's also important to have a bit of an outcome like trajectory too. It kind of reminds me of, I don't work with these athletes, but people that go on stage, like body sculptors, they have this really strict dieting controlled mentality going in. And then as soon as they've done their competition, they're like smashing pizza and whatever afterwards. And so their out is not controlled and considered either. Hey, Dan Atkins, welcome to Saturday Night Live, where there's actually a bunch of people online, which I'm surprised about. All right, so those would be 3 really important nutrients that I think every triathlete needs and needs to get a handle on. So if that either any of those things kind of resonate with you, or in the back of your mind you're like, yeah, I need to work on that, then for less than the cost of a coffee a day, I can teach you all these things within the Triathlon Nutrition Academy. It is hey, Edward. Alex said, I'm in my PJs too. Hee hee. Yep. It's Saturday night. I'm in my pajamas. I've had a shower already. Don't care. Ready to go to bed as soon as this ends. One thing I've learned from this week going live at 7:30 is that I'm not an evening person. My brain is nowhere near as sharp at this time of night that it is in the morning. And I've got so run down by doing this, I've got myself sick. Good times. But I'm still here. Still giving you massive nutritional gold nuggets because it is so much fun. Okay, so I might jump off if there's no questions. Nothing's kind of come through. But if you're watching the replay and you do have any questions on any of those 3 nutrients, please just send me a message and I can answer it. Or if you've got any questions on the Triathlon Nutrition Academy too, just send me a DM or send me a message on Facebook or Insta, and I will answer that for you, because doors close on Monday. I can't believe that's come around so quick. It is in, what's the day? Saturday. It's in 48 hours. It's in less than 48 hours. So tomorrow I'm going to jump on live and give you a bit of a peek inside of the back end of the academy. So I'm going to share my screen with you if you're on Facebook. Now, I will jump on live on Insta, but you're just not going to be able to see my screen. So if you do want to see what the Academy program looks like on the inside, come and join me on the Dietitian Approved Facebook page, or you can join the Dietitian Approved Crew Facebook group. I'm going to go live in there and share my screen so you can see what is going on. So that's at 7:30 tomorrow night, and that will be the last live that I do. Oh, sad face. Hey, Phil. Hey, Giorgio. So last live tomorrow night at 7:30, and then Monday night doors close at 7, and then at 7:30 we are having a member party for all of the Triathlon Nutrition Academy athletes, which I am pumped for. So if you want to come to the party, it is online. It's an online party because we've got people all around the country, but it's at 7:30 on Monday night. So doors close at 7. If you're sitting there watching and you're thinking about joining us, you've got 48 hours or less than 48 hours to do so, and then doors are closed. So click on the link in my bio on Instagram, or if you're on Facebook, then you need to go to dietitianapproved.com/academy if you want to come and join us. For less than the cost of a coffee a day, you get access to an advanced sports dietitian who lives and breathes triathlon nutrition. And I'm going to give you the exact structure and framework for how to do all the things we've been talking about all week, to help you go from feeling tired and exhausted and run down and having no idea what to do with your nutrition to feeling supercharged and turning up to training full of energy, full of life, not dragging your sorry ass there, and having energy through the back end of the week and into long weekend sessions as well. So I'm pumped to start with the athletes that we've got inside already. So if you're sitting there thinking about it, then now is the time to do it. All right, I'm going to jump off, and I'll see you guys on here tomorrow night at 7:30. I'll share my screen on Facebook if you want to come and take a sneak peek inside. But have a good Saturday night, team. And I will see you same time, same place tomorrow.